Hi there everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm a little congested, but hopefully that won't interfere with this video. Today we're going to learn how to make these mesh cheeky shorts. These are a little high waist on me and others that have tested them for me, but I think they could also be classified as mid-rise. For this tutorial, you're going to need a 6mm hook and medium 4-weight yarn, and I will show you how to adjust sizing for any particular size. I'm using Impeccable yarn. It's an acrylic brand that you can get at Michael's. I use this yarn a lot, especially for these shorts. What you want to do now is create a chain that's half of the length that you measured when you wrapped it around yourself. So if you measured 34 inches around, you want to create a chain that's approximately 17 inches long. These shorts are created in two halves. Now if your yarn is stretchy, you might want to crochet slightly less than half, so maybe 16, because this pattern will stretch. It will also look slightly, it will shrink slightly also as we create this, but don't be alarmed by that because like I said, it will stretch once you put it on. Once you have your desired chain length, you're going to skip the first 3 chains and then double crochet into that 4th chain from the hook, and you're just going to make double crochets all the way across on this row. Once you have your row of double crochets, at the end of the hook you're going to just chain 3, and we're going to be doing the mesh stitch, which is double crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and you're going to do that till the end of the row. So you're always going to double crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, you're skipping the next chain space, and then you're just double crocheting in the next chain space. So you're just doing this into the end of the row. Chain 1, skip chain space, and then double crochet like that, and it'll create this pattern all the way across. So when you're done, this is what it should look like. The second row here, or third row if you count the chain as the first row. So then we're going to, at the end of every row, we're going to chain 3 again, and then we're going to just repeat the pattern on top of itself. And we're going to do this for 13 rows, or however long you want your shorts to be. So if you want them to be really high waist, you can go past 13. If you want them to be like low rise, I like to go to 9 rows. But we're just continuing the pattern. We're double crocheting, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 right over that chain space, double crochet into the DC underneath it, and we're doing this for every row until we have our desired length. If you need to go back and re-watch these instructions, please do. But this is essentially the pattern for these shorts. Remember, these shorts are made in 2 panels, and we're going to seam the panels together. So you can see we have our first panel done. Now you just want to go ahead and create a panel identical to this one. When you have your 2 panels, you want to go to the bottom of the shorts or wherever you left off on the second panel, and you're going to want them facing right side to right side. So you can see like the back side is a little more bumpy and right side is smooth. And I am just going to connect the sides of my shorts with chains. You can also connect them with slip stitches if you want more of a, I feel like it's a little more seamless when you do it with slip stitches, but it's stretchier if you do it with chains. I kind of do a mixture of both, but it's personal preference. You're just going to be going up the side in the little holes, and you're going to try to match them up as best as you can. to make sure your shorts are going to be connected evenly. So basically what I've done here is I've made chains connecting the two shorts together in the bottom two holes, and now I'm going to just be slip stitching the rest up the side. Once you've gotten this done, you're going to want to do the exact same thing to the other side. You'll need to obviously cut off your yarn from your hook and reattach it to the bottom of the other side's corner, so that you can effectively seam that side. And when you're done, just flip them back right side out so that the seams are on the insides of the shorts. So you can see it kind of looks seamless. So now what I like to do is I like to place stitch markers at the end or at the corners of where I started my seam to help me keep track of the two sides, because we're about to create our crotch and we need to do a little math to make sure that the crotch is even on both panels. So what you basically do is however much you chained, you want to subtract that by 3. So if you chained 56 initially, you're going to subtract that by 3 because that's going to be your 3 chains you skipped in the beginning. And then you're going to take that number 53 and divide it by 2. And the number you get is basically how many double crochet and chain spaces you count to find the middle of the shorts. I'm going to try to explain that again, and I'm going to leave a little title box on the screen to help explain that better. But basically you want to find the middle of the shorts because the crotch is built around that. And the most accurate way is to do it like this, at least in my experience. So basically once you have the number, you're going to count from both sides. So you're going to count from the left side, and then you're going to count from the right side, and you're going to place your stitch markers. And basically where they meet is the middle. So you're going to then attach another piece of yarn, and you're going to attach it. This is preferential. It depends on how wide or thin you want your crotch to be. I like my crotch to be at least 5 to 6 double crochet length. So maybe that's about 2 inches. So you're gonna keeping it even, you know, whatever you do on one side, you're gonna want to do on the other side. So the crotch is just double crochet rows. So once you attach your yarn to where you want it, chain 3, and then I'm going to double crochet in the same chain space, and then I'm gonna make double crochets in each space below. So I'm gonna double crochet in the double crochet. I'm gonna make a double crochet in the chain 1 space, just until I have the length of the crotch I want. Once I have the row, I'm just gonna chain 3 at the end of each row and double crochet in every stitch across. And I'm gonna do this until I have the crotch length that I want. I usually go around between 5.5 to 6 inches long. You may need longer or shorter crotch length depending on how much cheekiness you want, or if you have a wider bottom than you do waist, you probably want to have a longer crotch. So after we have our crotch length all figured out, you want to count the spaces again the same way you did on one panel on the other side, so for when you go and attach your crotch to the other side. But make sure first that you flip them inside out again, because we're going to have seams and you definitely want your seams to be on the inside, unless you're a unique person. So here you see I'm just counting the chain spaces. I've done this a bunch of times, so normally I can just count, but if you forget or you're not sure, definitely use your stitch markers. So we're going to attach our crotch to the other side using, you either chain it to the other side or you can slip stitch it to the other side. Like I told you, I think chains make it just a tad more stretchy. Sometimes I like to go through the front loop of the shorts, but sometimes I don't. It really doesn't matter. I think, though, if you do go through just the front loops, it also helps make it stretchier. But like I said, it really doesn't matter that much. You can attach the crotch in your preferred method. This is just how I do it sometimes. Once you're done with that, go ahead and tie off your yarn and slip stitch it through. And we are basically done with these shorts. You're going to obviously remove all your stitch markers and take a yarn needle and tuck in everything and turn the shorts back from being inside out. This is your finished cheekies. Now I'm going to teach you how to make a drawstring. I like making a drawstring for all my bottoms because I think it helps if the fit isn't 100% how you want it to be. So I just take 2 strands of yarn held together, and then I just make a chain that's twice as long basically as the width of the shorts, or slightly longer depending on how long you want your chain to be. I usually change depending on the width of the shorts. I usually chain at least like 145, 160. When you have your chain length figured out, we're just going to stick the finished drawstring right in between our first row of double crochets. And I like to put the string in behind every 2. So I'll put it in between every 2 double crochets, and I'll do that until I get all the way around. And I'll leave a small gap right in the front, so that there's space to actually pull it tight. As you can see, here's just another pair I made in a variegated color. I made them in the exact same way, although the rainbow yarn was slightly thicker, but you can see I made the crotch even a little thicker on those, but they are the same size. Just want to show you another example. Well, that's it. You have just learned how to make a pair of cheeky bottoms. I left a little string out, but I will tuck those in later. Thank you so much for purchasing this tutorial. I really hope it was helpful for you. Please don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions. You can also contact me and share your finished work on my Instagram page at On the Blackhand Side. Thank you again. Bye.